good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe good-looking, so I was looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tuned in consciously and conscientiously to Ion Las Vegas. And you did it for one reason only, the best reason in the world, because you care the most, the entire world, about you. Y-O-U. That's great, because when you become the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love. And I'm welcomed by your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy. The ambassador of joy. And this show is dedicated to this remarkable place that is pulsating with positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant energy called Ion Las Vegas. Now, I've traveled the world. I speak to people all over the world on a regular basis. And whenever I mention these two words, Las Vegas, people lean in and their ears open up and their eyes go bright and they say, tell me more. Because Las Vegas is the equivalent of liberty, freedom, energy, exploration, goodness. I mean, just stuff happening here. Oh, yes, of course, we have casinos and things and stuff. It's really about the pulsating aspect of what liberty and freedom look like in reality. Now, you're about to meet one of the most remarkably vivacious, vigorous beings you'll ever have the pleasure of listening to. We'll bring in just a moment. I want to mention two things. I talk about Las Vegas. I want to give people an idea of how interesting this place is. If you take the entire population of New York City and all the people around it, the entire population of Chicago and everybody around it, the entire population of Los Angeles and all the people around it, add them all together, it doesn't come up to the number of people who come to Las Vegas in any given year. 41 million people come here, pass through here, and do things because it's all about freedom. And we're going to be talking with now the most vivacious, most interesting, most freedom-loving being on the planet. And her name is Valerie Durham. Valerie, please say hello to 511,926 people around the world.
Well, a marvelous thank you to you, Barry. I'm delighted to be here. And I'm so excited to talk to everybody from around the world about something that you and I share at such an elevated level. And that is human dignity, sovereignty, and freedom. This is the most important thing we could be talking about today. And I couldn't be more thrilled to be talking about it with you.
Y-O-U. Well, she is a joy. She just she got right to my heart, in my mind, and she captured it, but she does with everybody. Because what Valerie has dedicated herself to, as she just said, is the ability for people to live and to think and to act in freedom and liberty. So let's just jump right in. We're talking about a foundation, an organization that you had, and once a year you have a remarkable gathering. It's more important than Woodstock or any or Burning Man or any other place where people could go where they think they're going to be free. And this is called Freedom Fest. So let's talk about Freedom Fest 25, which is happening just a few days. Tell us what it is, where it is, when it is, then we'll go deeper into the why.
This is awesome. Thank you so much. So Freedom Fest, like you said, is an annual conference where we bring together everyone who cares about liberty in any direction that you care about it. And here's the thing. Freedom is not just one thing. Freedom is everything. And so we look at things that are political freedom, financial freedom, health freedom, intellectual freedom, creative and artistic freedom. We look at religious and spiritual freedom. We look at all the ways that freedom and liberty impact your life. And we talk about it at Freedom Fest. And we invite the people who care about freedom to come and talk about it at Freedom Fest. And let me tell you, first of all, we don't yell at each other, because progress is not made by fighting and yelling at each other about how we disagree. Where we make progress is finding out where we agree, and if we disagree, why? Because that helps us find solutions. So that's what we're focused on at Freedom Fest. What are the solutions to our problems that embrace freedom, create choice and accountability in each and every individual and in our society, and can take us forward? Because let's face it, we keep tearing each other down. We keep bringing each other to, oh, you don't agree with me. You have the wrong idea. You have the wrong solution. You hurt me this way. This does not get us going forward. So Freedom Fest is 4 days of amazing keynote speeches, brilliant debates, stimulating panels. where we take on all of the things that people are concerned about with freedom, and we talk about it. It's the most fantastic people you'll ever meet, the most fantastic group of people in one room at one time, and you get to meet with them and interact with them, whether they're speakers or exhibitors or whoever they are.
Almost too good to be true. First of all, where is it and when is it this year?
So this year, usually we're in Las Vegas, which is why you and I have this conversation. So we're normally in Las Vegas, but this year we're going to another place that has also a lot of energy and vibe. It's Palm Springs, California. And so we are gathering for 4 days in Palm Springs, California, and we are embracing an oasis of liberty. We're turning Palm Springs, California into its own oasis of liberty. We're taking over the town. And we're also going to discuss what it takes to make an oasis of liberty in your own life, that no matter what's going on in the world, you can create an oasis of liberty in your own life with your mindset, with how you arrange your finances, with how you treat your business associates. All those things can help you create an oasis of liberty in your own lives, and so many more things. So it is Wednesday, June 11th. Through Saturday, June 14th. You can come for the entire time. You can come for a day or two. You can drive over to Palm Springs. You can stay at the Hilton. They're still going to have rooms for you because we forced them to keep the room block open. So if you want to shoot on over and just check things out at Freedom Fest and stay the night, what have you, you can do it. So we have the welcome mat is open for anyone who cares about liberty, who's listening to this podcast right now, to come to Freedom Fest in Palm Springs, basically within a day or so, and come check us out.
Let's unpack a couple of things here because they're beautiful nuggets. California is famous for gold and ideas, and Silicon Valley and all kinds of other things. It's also famous, unfortunately these days, for a remarkable book that's just been published called Califailure. It's the worst run state in America. So it's a clash of processes that are happening. And Palm Springs is a great place to have this happen because Palm Springs, they call it P.S. I love you. You call it an oasis of liberty. And it couldn't be more correct because Palm Springs was built originally around palm trees with dates and delicious dates. I mean, really, still to this very day. And it is a place where when you have conversation without yelling at each other, as you mentioned, there is the possibility, the likelihood even, that things that seem to be irresolvable, unmovable, somehow get resolved, somehow open up and get moved. Can you give us an example? Let's say, pick 3, maybe 5 names of people who are going to be speaking that would intrigue people.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we have Ryan Holiday coming, and he is a Stoic philosopher who has revolutionized people's lives. He's somebody that we really value because he's showing how living a principled life based on philosophy, a particular philosophy, helps you live a great life. And he's changed a lot of people's lives by espousing this thing that he believes in and explaining it and creating a modern version so that people can embrace a principled way of living. So he's going to come and talk with another philosopher, this one, an objectivist philosopher, and they're going to talk about how to use ideas, how to use philosophy to make decisions and create a great life. So if you've ever read any of Ryan Holiday's books or listened to his podcast, you know how brilliant he is. He's going to be right there in person, and that's going to be amazing. We also have people like Brock Pierce coming. And Brock is somebody that has revolutionized space in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. And he's going to be coming and demonstrating how blockchain and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, even if you don't understand it, I think what's important to understand about that, besides the technology and all of that, is that this is an innovation that human beings created that allows us to expand our capacity. We get so limited. We think old technology is the only way, that paper money or the gold standard is the only way to have finances and money exchange. No, as human beings, we can create new ways. And so if you use that as an example to think outside the box, Don't be limited by what's in the here and now, but let's take each other forward into what more is possible. Brock is going to be a great example of that. We also have Kat Timpf coming. And Kat, who many of you may know her from Fox News, she's a hilarious woman. And really, in the way that so many comedians and people with a comic mind can, they cut through to the heart of truth in so many ways. And Kat is a vastly freedom-loving person. And she and Kennedy are actually going to be on stage together. And just that's going to be a rip-roaring experience that anyone could, you'll have a great time and learn a lot too.
Let's talk about, I want to mention Kat for a moment for two things. In addition to being a very incisive, insightful, and sharp being,
Yes.
and people like myself know her mostly from Gutfeld show and such like that, she also has trodden the path of real physical difficulties. In the sense that, I mean, we're not saying anything that's not public knowledge at the moment, that she now got married, gave birth to a child, a son, I think, and discovered that she has breast cancer.
That's right.
So she is living 14 lives all in the course of the past couple of years, which I'm sure helps inform her view of the world, her ability to be comedic in the sense of giving vision to other things. And like you said, teaming up with Kennedy, the two Ks. So my wife said to me specifically, I must go over and tell Kat how much my wife enjoys listening to her.
Oh, she'll love that.
We also want to mention there's a guy named Adam. I mean, if you're going to talk about liberty and freedom and such, you have to mention the first human, Adam. Now, by the way, in the Bible, Adam was not just a man. Adam was actually, according to tradition, both male and female in one being. And then God split them to two different parts. So we're going to have an Adam Carolla. And I think Adam is an excellent spokesperson when it comes to freedom and California and what's shifting, the shifting sands. So can you speak a little bit about towards that? And after we come back from our short break, we'll talk about some remarkably other interesting beings.
We are thrilled to have Adam Carolla joining us. And not only is he going to be on the main stage, also with Kennedy, she gets to interview a lot of great people this year. He is such a great example of the importance of freedom of expression, especially when that expression is not comfortable and not easy. And that is one of the things that I think people don't realize about freedom of expression. It's not a freedom to express that which is comfortable, easy, agreed with. It's in particular when you don't agree. That's what's important when you allow someone to speak. And so Adam is going to come and talk about that, the importance of freedom of expression. And then what's even greater is he is going to be headlining our comedy show on Wednesday night, along with several others, Dominic Frisby and several others. So here's what's fantastic. Freedom Fest, and then we'll go to the break. Freedom Fest isn't just about the serious stuff. The serious stuff is really important. But life is meant to be what? Joyful. And freedom is supposed to be joyful. And that's why we also have a great time at Freedom Fest. And maybe about that.
On that cliffhanger, we have a wonderful sponsor that loves our show. So we're going to short break, less than a minute. Be right back with that dynamic, vivacious, amazing, always powerful Valerie. Don't go away.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card, and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe good-looking, so I was looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good Her name is wonderful Valerie Durham. She is the CEO. She is the driving force of organizing with, thank God, a staff of dozens and dozens of people, one of the most remarkable events in America, and I dare say the world, because it's a worldwide audience that's going to be there and be touched by this, because it's all about freedom. It's called Freedom Fest this year, Freedom Fest 25 in Palm Springs, California. And you just mentioned some remarkable people. You just mentioned the four-letter FU word, FU, capital N, because without fun, there is no ability to really listen. See, fun, what it does, it's sort of like the walls of Jericho. It brings them down so you don't have the barriers as much. And people start laughing and start feeling, and now you can begin discussing, yes, very topical issues, because let's be blunt, there's three issues in life that make a difference. Number one, personal relationships with other people and with oneself.
Yes.
With finances. Unless you have your finances working for you and doing all the things you're supposed to do, then life becomes very difficult. And number three is health. And we're talking about physical, mental, and spiritual health. Physical health, everybody understands. Mental health is what Valerie is talking about here in Freedom Fest, and spiritual health is the underpinning for this entire conference. This is a spiritual experience, whether you're doing yoga in the morning, or you're with Barry in the pool, or you're going to learn to love dog poop, and we'll talk about that. It's all about the experience of good health, physical, mental, and spiritual. So we left off here with Adam heading up a great evening of comedy, which, again, once the being starts feeling the ripples and the waves of laughter, now you can actually have a different feeling about other people.
Yes.
And we can let our, not just our hair down, but let down our guard so that we can say, I'm here to learn and to share. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. The power of laughter cannot be underestimated. There is a reason that they say, if you want to live a long life, make sure you laugh every day.
Yes.
When we laugh with other people, it creates a bond that cannot be denied. And when you have that bond, you can no longer treat someone else as a stranger, which means you're pushed into a dynamic where now you create understanding, you get curious. And that's where we start to make actual progress. And again, when we make someone else the enemy, we make them the problem, that creates a divide, and we have failure in the divide. But when we laugh with somebody, or when we sing with them at karaoke, or when we dance with them at the Saturday night banquet, or when we do yoga, or we go to the pool, or what have you, when we have these kinds of experiences, it creates the bond, and the bond creates a foundation where change can happen. So that's why we have these serious conversations. And then we also make sure that we are human beings living life, enjoying what life has to offer. Because if we don't do that, what is the point of freedom? What is the point of it?
There is none.
All we're doing is like, freedom all the time. Then that is no life.
Right.
So
we're the absolute true lovers of freedom, in the sense of, it's not just kumbaya.
That's right.
It is, come by my home, share with me.
Yes.
Let me be with you.
Yep.
Let me actually listen.
Yep.
What is it that you'd like to say?
Mm-hmm.
The ability, like you said, I love working with Valerie, because she's articulate, she's beautiful, she's bountiful. And when she uses these great words of, when you're curious, guess what happens? You can create a bond because you're laughing.
That's
Laughter allows people to say, oh, you're actually a human being.
Yes.
Because everybody talking about AI in the world today. AI really stands for always improving. That's a true definition of AI, always improving.
Yeah.
And what you really need in order to have always improving is HI, human intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have human intelligence always improving, guess what happens? You can have thousands of people. There'll be thousands of people in Palm Springs, all there focusing on the same aspect.
Yeah.
Freedom Festival.
Yes.
Freedom, whatever aspect it means to you. And so we are there to share with each other.
That's
so
right.
Let's continue and talk about the underlying aspect. If you had to choose two items, wonderful Valerie, that you think are going to be really front and center this year, I mean, I'm going to put forth one as an idea.
Okay.
I believe wholeheartedly that we are on the cusp of a great golden age. And I mean that in every sense of the word. Certainly in finances, I think we're on the cusp of a golden age. I think we're on the cusp of a golden age of world peace. Even though wars are raging, I think the wars are there. That flame is going to be extinguished. People don't want that. They realize that just doesn't work.
It doesn't. It really does.
What do you think are going to be some of the, let's say, the two big drivers of Freedom Fest 25?
Well, one, I think we are going to have a lot of conversation about AI. And we have Andrew Main coming and Larry Sanger, who was a co-creator of Wikipedia, and George Gilder, several other great, Brett Weinstein, James Lindsay, Michael Shermer. My gosh, I can't even list all the scientific.
Valerie is a name dropper, and it's good.
Yeah, but I can't help it because these are the people, more than 200 speakers. So we're going to be looking at how AI, and what I love is that we actually have a woman, Christina Giacomo, who's coming, who's a technology philosopher. And she's going to be part of this conversation where we talk about AI. What's the morality of AI? How do we use it in moral ways? What does it mean for humanity? And I think this is such an important conversation because we have a lot of technology that gets thrust upon us very quickly, like social media and smartphones. They came into our lives with such force, and we didn't really have a time to grapple with what's an appropriate way to use phones and social media? And we're really dealing with the fallout of that. And AI, the internet, all of these things are such powerful tools, but it depends on us as human beings. And I would say not just human intelligence, Barry, but human intuition, because the human intuition also cannot be duplicated by technology. It is unique to us as beings. And when we tap into that intuition, which is our connection to our spirituality, as you mentioned before, which is the genesis for free will and for choice and for the sense of freedom and for human sovereignty, when we combine that with the intelligence, we're unstoppable. So AI is definitely going to be a big part of the conversation. We talked also about Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, new ways to look at money and how that affects our finances. That's economics. We're going to be looking at the terrifying debate, which is a cute play on words about tariffs and what that means. And I would say also the importance of the arts in understanding who we are as human beings and how freedom gets articulated. I want to mention that as part of Freedom Fest, we have a full film festival, the Anthem Film Festival. And we have more than 25 movies, long form documentaries and narratives, short form films as well. And each of these is screened with the filmmaker and a huge panel afterwards where these films are discussed and the topics are discussed. So the power of film to communicate ideas is so important. Music, comedy, visual arts, that is so important for us to embrace. For too long, we're in California. We are in Palm Springs, was originally the hideaway where all of the Frank Sinatra, Marilyn Monroe, Lucy and Desi, Dinah Shore, Clark Gable, all these guys, they used to come out to Palm Springs when they had short breaks during the shooting, because when they were under contract, they had to be no more than 2 hours away from LA. So if they needed to pick up a shot or reshoot something, they could be recalled within 2 hours. So Palm Springs is right on the edge of where you can get from LA and still be in that 2 hour time zone. So that's why we have the classic Hollywood history there and all the beautiful mid-century modern homes and all of that. So the arts, we have relegated too much of the arts to people who don't understand freedom. And we have to claim that back, because it is through our artistic feelings that we formulate beliefs. And when we have our beliefs, that's what spurs action. So it's really important for us to be creating art that isn't just cutesy freedom oriented, but is really infused with deep freedom principles So we understand agency. We understand entrepreneurialism. We value business and the free market again. We don't treat those as evil and bad. So that is part of what we are doing at Freedom Fest this year.
So,
And it's
people,
it's so mind-blowing, all the stuff that's
this is so wonderful because people are leaning on the edge of their seats and they're taking it in. Nobody's writing down. You can't. The reason we have this available to you so you can listen again and write things down. Just be aware. And I'm hoping that you're going to say yes. Well, I'll ask you in just a moment. I remember last year there was a film, and I think it's being released now, by Michael Medved about miracles of America, America's miracle.
Yes.
Is that going to be at the film festival?
Not this year because it was there last year. I don't think that's one of the ones we have at this screening. We have a few great, we have movies such as Dear Mr. President, The Letters of Julius Sand. We have Sight, which is an Angel Studios movie that features Greg Kinnear and tells the story of a Chinese man who comes over, becomes a doctor, Dr. Ming Wang, who will be at Freedom Fest, will be at the Anthem Film Festival, and who revolutionized different technologies to return people's sight to them. So many. Go to anthemfilmfestival.com and you'll see all the films this year because I can't recount all of them. And they're stunning and phenomenal and so inspiring. Both the filmmakers who make them and the stories they tell. It's just amazing.
Well, speaking of inspiring, during the 44-second break, I came up with the acronym for your name. Can I share it with you?
Oh, my goodness, please. I would love to hear that.
Valerie, Valerie. Vibrant awareness, loves enthusiastic resilience, inspiring energy.
Oh, my. I feel like I'm levitating off the seat.
That is exactly who you be. It's amazing. It's in the Olympics, they have a torch that comes throughout the world, right? So at Freedom Fest, our torch is that Valerie. When she enters the room, it sparkles. Everything. And again, I say this with great love and respect. She'll be the first to say it's not Valerie. It's Valerie and all the people that work.
Everybody. In fact, as you were saying that, I'm thinking about all the people. My dad, it's a family business. My mom and dad started Freedom Fest and they're still super involved. And my sisters work with me and my cousins. And then those who aren't related by blood, I like to say we adopted them. I have the adopted cousins and nephews that I work with and so forth. And I think about all the speakers who come too and how so many of each of them represents an area of deep expertise. We have Corey DeAngelis coming, the advocate for school choice, who is making massive difference in this world. We have Scott Horton coming. You talk about peace. Scott Horton with antiwar.com and the Libertarian Institute, he's coming to talk about how do we get to peace in this day and age, in this world. I
can tell you it's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to.
You and Scott need to talk because, and actually, I think your booths are across from each other. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think you're literally across. So you have to meet.
Okay, so I'm sorry to say the words for this particular session is coming to a close. I will ask you 3 quick questions, wonderful Valerie. You ready?
Yes.
Number 1, will you come back again?
Anytime you ask, Barry.
Whoa! Okay, Valerie, you have only 80 seconds to answer this. I think you've already said it. I want to hear it again in a short clip that we can replay all over the world. What is your most fervent desire?
To always be growing towards more love, more health, and a greater sense of who I am in this beautiful universe.
Number 3, may I give you a hug in front of 519,822 people around the world? Let me tell everybody HUG stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. 1, 2, 3. And you listening to in Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy, amazing Valerie Durham. And please, please make sure that you listen again, tell people about it, and find a way to get involved with Freedom Fest in some aspect.
We'll be back in Vegas next year. So if you can't make it to Palm Springs this year, mark your calendars for July next year. We'll be back in Vegas in a big way.
Wow! And by the way, the show Freedom Fest this year culminates on Saturday, June 14th, which is an important day. It's Flag Day in America.
That's right.
We love our flag. We revere our country because we're the beacon for the world. Everybody wants to live in an American mindset,
Mm-hmm.
the giving aspect. So our blessing from wonderful Valerie and Barry, go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Valerie, don't go away.